So it was less than a week ago that an anonymous NBA scout said Victor Wembanyama, quote, is not impactful at all on offense. And he, quote, looks like he's playing without a whole lot of direction. To that, Victor has said, ha! I laugh. Because over the last 3 games, Wemby's averaging 36 points a game, almost 7 3-point made field goals, 12 rebounds, just to top it off, 4.33 blocks per game. And he, last night against the Wizards, who, albeit, it's the Wizards. They suck. I'm sorry. The Wizards are not a good team. Jordan Poole went for 42 as well. But last night, Wemby goes for 50 points, 8 threes, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and 1 steal. He is the first Spur to go for 50 since LaMarcus Aldridge in 2019, just the 8th Spur of all time to go for 50. First Spur to do it in regulation since David Robinson's 71. He's the first player in NBA history to have 3 straight games with 6 3-pointers, 6 plus 3-pointers and multiple blocks. He is the 4th youngest player in NBA history to score 50 points in 1 game. Wembanyama is the first player in league history with 23 pointers and 25 blocks over the last 6 games. And only 6 players this season have hit 6 3-point field goals in 3 straight games. Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Buddy Hield, LaMelo Ball, Derek White, and Victor Wembanyama. Guards and Victor. So
it's impressive.
An anonymous NBA scout can suck it. Because what we've seen from Victor, at least over the last 3 games, is otherworldly.
I can't deny that. You know, the thing is, like, up to that point when the anonymous guy said what he said, you know, there were some shots that Victor was taking like 10 feet beyond the arc and just crazy Steph-like shots that I thought, okay, really dumb. Some of them were going in, though, so it's like, it's not a bad shot if it's going in, right? That's the age-old adage. It's only a bad shot if it doesn't go in. So, but what's going on over the last week has just been, it's silly in a lot of ways. It speaks to, you know, obviously Victor's ability to make shots, but I think it's bigger picture. The ball is moving. Guys are finding each other. They're finding the open shot. Victor's not the only one that's had a good week, right?
Right.
Chris Paul, his plus-minus over the last 3 games is plus 70-something. I mean, Chris Paul didn't have a huge night scoring the ball last night, but I think he had 10 assists?
He had 11 assists.
11? Okay. What he's doing, to me, is like the secret sauce in all this. I mean, because a lot of it, I don't think is going to pass the eye test, because when you see the stats, you go, oh, wow, Victor 50, wow, 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 50. And, right, that's amazing, especially – he did it in 26 minutes, right?
He got 250 in 26 minutes, right, which is the fastest any player has ever gotten 250 in the amount of playing time. He ended up playing 32 minutes, but he didn't score in the last 6 because they took him out thinking, all right, you're done, with like 6 minutes left in the game, and then because they were up by 20, and then the Spurs bench just vomited all over themselves, and then Victor had to come back in the game.
Well, in Monday's game, I think it was Monday. Was it Monday? This seems like an awful long week. He scored 34. But just watching them play basketball, and I think somebody alluded to it, and I don't remember who, so I apologize about, the return of the beautiful game. That's what it looked like. I mean,
Jordan Howenstein.
It was easy to watch. It looked like basketball. It looked like basketball that we used to see here on the reg, and I kept thinking, man, I would watch this. This looks actually pretty good. And then you know what was even cool about last night, even though as stupid as it was, because the Wizards were fouling every 2 seconds and extended the last 30 seconds of that game about 20 minutes.
It was horrible.
Trying to get back in it like it was a college game.
I'm sure it was
and even
bad
Chris
for you
Paul
too,
was like, right, exactly. But Chris Paul was like going at their bench and at their coach and saying, what are you guys doing? This is stupid. Like somebody's going to get hurt. But if the Spurs played defense like that, like they were doing full court stuff up 8 or 9 with 26 seconds left to go, and it's like, yeah, I like it. Let's see more of this. And so I just think you can see something building here. And if you're going to try to be a pain in the keister with 29 seconds left and really ball out and cover a team from baseline to baseline, full court press, 5 was killing me last night. I loved what was going on there with that. That's what I think people want to see, right? Act like it means something.
You said keister.
I did. I didn't want to cuss like you on the air.
I think you made a great point with Chris Paul. I mean, he doesn't get 50 without Chris Paul last night. He was he was feeding him the ball. He knew what was happening, and it's great to have an adult on the court to actually
Well
make
said.
it happen.
Chris Paul's also, he's seen 50 before. So let's get to the post game real quick. This is from Wemby, Chris Paul, and then Julian Champagnie, and then we'll get into a little bit more of the game.
Really, my first thought is eventually I want the rest of our performances, the rest of our games to overshadow this one. It's I want to make so that in the future it's just another one.
Man, very impressive. I don't know how many 50-point games I've been a part of, but to do it in, what they say, 26 minutes? What? Something like that. Oh, somebody said 26 minutes.
He got the 50 in 26 minutes.
Oh, I don't care how you get it, when you get it. I ain't never had 50, so that's tough. Shit.
The big fella, man. I mean, that's obviously that's not where it's gonna be every night, but when he comes out with that mindset, man, it's hard to it's hard. It's hard for teams to deal with that one. But big praise to him, big shout out to him. He's working on his game. He takes everything personal. I don't know what it was that he took personal, but he took something personal.
So that's my favorite quote. That's why I put it at the end. That's my favorite quote from last night. Is he took something personal. Well, for anyone who watched the Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls documentary, the Last Dance documentary that went on to Netflix and all that, or that was ESPN that went on to Netflix, I'm sure everyone has seen by now. And if you haven't, go watch it. It's really, really good. One of the best parts of that whole documentary is when Michael Jordan kept saying, I took that personally. I took that personally. I took that personal. And then he goes out and he drops 60 and dunks on somebody's soul. So I love seeing that kind of mindset. And so to have Julian come out and say, yeah, he took some, I don't know what it was, but something was personal to him tonight. That's when you saw Victor. I love having a superstar that has that kind of mindset, because that's one of the things that made Michael Jordan one of, if not the best player in NBA history, was that mindset of you said what about me? You did what to somebody that I care about? Okay, see what I do tonight. And I love that Wemby came out with that.
It was just a phenomenal performance. Again, not just by him, because 50 points in 26 minutes, that's stupid. I don't even know how to compute that. So, but Champagnie, I mean, what these guys are doing together, and it's really fun. It's been a fun week.
Those are the kind of performances and the kind of things that make you say, this 6-6 Spurs team, I'm excited about them. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what this team can eventually develop into, because you see games where they can put it all together. And yes, they played the Wizards. Yes, their defense was not as good as it probably should have been last night. They allowed more than 30 in 3 of the 4 quarters, 39 in the fourth quarter. Obviously had to put their starters back in because their bench was letting the lead up and they didn't want to lose that game. I think they cut it to 5 at one point.
You know what? I think at the end of this, though, I'm okay, and I know the coaches probably aren't, but
they weren't. Mitch
I'm
was
okay
not happy with that.
if we give up some defense for some offense. This is an offensive league, right? And you're going to win some games. Obviously, if you're a top 5 defense, it's going to equate over time whether or not you get a lot of victories or not. But I'm okay with seeing things work better on the offensive end. And to your point, this is what we saw at the end of last year, what we've seen this week, right? Reason for hope, reason to think there is something there that you might be able to hang your hat on and stay interested in for a while, and not have these cavernous gaps between really good and then just really dog mess.
Dog mess. I feel like that's one of the things that people
or horse mess.
Horse something. You should take
doggy dong.
Keister. That's one of the things that I think people should take positively about this as well, is when you look at the Spurs play, you still see Coach Pop. Even though he's not there, the defensive principles are there. The ball movement is there. The wanting to get a great shot, not a good shot. All of that is still there. So even though Coach Pop is not physically on the sidelines right now, and he's getting better and trying to improve to be back on the sidelines, you still have Mitch Johnson, who is coaching like Coach Pop. Yes, his own spin. He does his own thing. He's not Coach Pop, but coaching this team, keeping the same culture there. So I think people should also take that as a positive sign for this team because you see all of the tenets that have made the Spurs the Spurs.
I'm just impressed that you're not freezing to death in here, bro.
Dude, I am. For anyone who's watching, you can see Chuck is like.
What is it? How cold do you think it's? Do you think it's in the 50s in here?
So I took my dog for a walk this morning and it was 55. It feels like that in here. It really does. It might not be that cold in here, but it feels like.
Well,
that
the old
in here.
thermometer that we had in here was stuck on 59. So, and even that, you would think that it wouldn't be. This feels like a lot colder than that.
At least it wasn't stuck on 69.
Oh.
Anyway, all right, let's get to sorry, devolving into chaos here very fast. So the Spurs' next game is against the Lakers. They'll play that on Friday.
Yeah, the NBA Cup begins.
Yes, stoked. Hey, we're playing the defending NBA Cup champions on Friday.
True that. So
okay?
we start off with a bang at least.
Man, I hate the courts.
I hate the courts
Yeah,
too.
it's a little hard, right? But you know what? That might just be an age thing with us, dude.
It's like watching a Boise State game like every night.
That's true.
It's horrible.
It's 100% true.
Yeah, it's awful.